Now to Redding, California. Donald Trump about to speak. It is his first appearance since a group of angry protesters attacked Trump supporters at a rally in San Jose. Americans attacked in America by a mob with a foreign flag. Later, those protesters cornered a young woman who was wearing a Trump shirt. She was pelted with eggs. They were waving the Mexican flag, and they were burning the American flag. The city's mayor blaming Trump for that violence. Welcome, everyone. I'm Stuart Varney in for Neil Cavuto, and this is Your World. John Roberts is in Redding, where police are bracing for more protests today. John.
And Stuart, this is a heavily conservative area of California, unlike San Jose. So it's likely that even though police are bracing for protesters, because they always do, any protest gathering here, if there is one at all, will be very small, unlike what we saw last night in San Jose, which really was quite stunning for the level of violence that we saw. We expect that Donald Trump is probably going to say something about that when he arrives here at the Redding airport. We're also hearing that the San Jose Police Department is going to hold a press conference in about a half an hour's time to talk about that. And we have learned that they are reviewing videotape that they have collected from last night to try to identify people who were involved in criminal behavior, people who were involved in assaults, so that they can press charges against those people. In addition to referencing the near riot of last night outside of his event, Donald Trump also expected to talk more about Hillary Clinton. Yesterday, of course, she had that foreign policy address in San Diego, which really turned out to be more of an attack on Donald Trump. He ripped her up one side and down the other last night, calling it, quote, pathetic, saying that wasn't a foreign policy speech. It was a political speech. We also expect that Donald Trump may talk a little bit about Benghazi this afternoon because, Stuart, I learned exclusively just a short time ago and have an exclusive photograph here that Donald Trump met with Liddy Denye. Liddy Denye was the fiancée of Ambassador Chris Stevens, who of course tragically died in Benghazi. So I expect that Donald Trump will probably talk about that meeting as well. Just got to tell you before we go, it's 100 degrees here, so people are definitely very, very adamant that they're going to see Donald Trump today. Stuart, back to you.
Yes, indeed. John Roberts, thank you very much, John. The mayor of San Jose blaming Trump for the violence. The mayor saying, and I'm quoting now, at some point, Donald Trump needs to take responsibility for the irresponsible behavior of his campaign. So his supporters are attacked, and he, Donald Trump, to blame? Conservative Review's Deneen Borelli says that is absurd, but Democrat strategist Liz Chatterton says Trump does bear some responsibility. Deneen, to you first. Mob violence. Who do you blame?
It's really outrageous, these images that we are seeing, Stuart. And listen, the left does not like freedom of speech. That is the bottom line here. And the Americans know what Donald Trump wants to do in terms of immigration, sanctuary cities, and to secure the borders. And the illegal immigrants, they know that, and that is why they are fighting and pushing back and taking to the streets and looking at these horrible images that we are seeing now. That is what we're up against.
All right, Liz Chatterton, what responsibility does Donald Trump have when people attending his peaceful rally are attacked by a mob?
Well, first of all, these were initially protesters that were outside the rally, well within the boundaries that the police had established. They weren't doing anything but waving flags, as is their First Amendment right. Now, I do think that there was error on both sides. As the Trump rally got out and his supporters also went into the streets, things began to happen. And frankly, when Donald Trump says that Mexican immigrants are rapists and that laziness is rampant among black people, I think you're going to see some fervor and some anger amongst those people.
Liz, does that excuse burning the American flag and waving the Mexican flag in the face of an American presidential candidate?
It is legal in this country under the First Amendment to burn a flag.
I'm discussing the morality of it.
That is the way it is. In this country, it is freedom of speech.
Stuart, it's disgusting to see the American flag burned here in the United States. Yes, it's freedom of speech, but it's utterly disgusting. And the mayor of San Jose really did not stand up for the citizens who were peacefully out on the streets to attend the rally and were trying to go home after these events. These people were followed. They were intimidated. people were attacked. It's utterly ridiculous what is happening here. And again, this all goes back to people who have a problem with the policies and laws that are in this country when it comes to illegal immigrants being here, and they have cover in these sanctuary cities. That is part of the problem.
Liz, do you find it provocative when you wave the Mexican flag at an American presidential candidate?
Not at all.
That's
I
not
actually
provocative?
think not at all. Now, a presidential candidate that has referred to many Mexicans as rapists.
Okay, let me ask you this.
But
Let's suppose,
no,
well,
I
hold on a second, Liz.
absolutely think
Let
they
me
had the
s-
right
let me
to
just
wave
ask you
that
this,
flag.
Liz. Let me ask you this. You're a blue-collar worker elsewhere in America, and you're watching the Mexican flag waved in the face of Trump supporters, and there's violence. You're a blue-collar guy, and you see your job going to Mexico, if you're a UAW worker, for example, and you see that Mexican flag waved in a violent situation as they've trapped a young woman. That's what our viewers are seeing on the screen right now. How do you think that blue-collar worker feels? Oh, it's just freedom of speech?
Well, in all honesty, if that blue-collar worker had attended public schools all the way through high school, and I'm sure he or she did, they would understand that freedom of speech covers all speech. And waving a flag, any flag, in America is legal.
Okay.
Punching someone in the face is not.
Deneen,
and
will you respond to that,
both sides did that last night.
If they
Deneen,
are so
respond.
proud of their Mexican flags, why don't they stay in Mexico? How dare they come
You
to the
know,
United States
that's ridiculous.
and incite such violence and intimidation?
It's just
It is
ridiculous.
unnecessary. No, you're ridiculous because you won't
No,
even
I'm
answer
not.
his question.
This is a country of immigrants. This is a country
Yes.
built
They
on the
should
back
be
of
here
immigrants.
legally.
And you're saying right
Wait a minute,
now
ladies,
that
listen
Mexicans
to
should
me,
go
please.
back across the border?
Okay, Liz and
It's
Deneen,
just-
listen to me. Liz in particular. I am a newly minted American citizen, and I'm very proud of my new country. I think that is provocative in the extreme when I see the Mexican flag waved in the face of an American presidential candidate. Those demonstrators do not accept that California is California. They think it's
Right.
part of Mexico, and
That
am
is not
offended.
true.
They do believe that.
No, they do not.
You ever
That
heard of
is
La
not
Raza?
true. They do not believe that. That is absolutely not true. They are proud of
Liz,
their heritage.
It's ridiculous
I am
that they
Irish.
are
Am I not
burning
allowed to
the
wave the Irish
American
flag?
They're
Come on.
burning the American
All right.
flag, Liz. That is outrageous.
It was a good
legal
debate,
in
and I
this
suspect it will
nation.
continue because I think the waving of the Mexican flag will continue. Deneen, Liz, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks.
We appreciate it. Thank you.